Welcome back, whippersnappers. This is Gramps. We are in Shapes 2 Challenge Mode, the Dimension Update. We've got two announcements to make. The first announcement, you might be able to hear, I'm sick. I'm really, I've got like a throat and nose thing going on. And I do not feel great. But we need to, the algorithm must continue, so we are going to keep making videos. We finished off, I finished off that last task. Let's go in here. Number 34. Let me show you 34 here. The 34 was just this guy here. So it was very simple. That, making a little two-color shield, which was the same throughout the entire run. Adding a blue shield, same the entire run. Adding the yellow flippy floopy on top of that, same the entire run, and then adding a blue flippy floopy on top of that one for the whole run. Quick and easy, but I didn't record that. But I also set up this first one of Hungry Plant. And so this one has been chugging along and is the first shape is delivered. The second thing I wanted to announce is, yay, we made it. Thank you so much. We are at 401 subscribers. So we made it over the hurdle. And now we start looking at 500 as our next mark. So exciting. So here's what I did for this guy. I've got it all set up, and I just need to do this. Boop, boop. And then instead of cyan going in, we have teal. Sorry, instead of cyan for the carrot top, we'll have white for the carrot top. All right, so that's going to be this next one. Then after that, our next shape, we have this little circle with the notch cut out. Actually, the northeast. So I used our little northeast remover, painted it red, and I'm bringing those over here. Next, we're going to have white windmill with the northeast removed. So let's get that going. Here's the notch remover. You can see we just take those full windmill shapes, remove the notch, and then paint them white. And that is going to come in and go right on top of this, I think. And let's take a look at the last one. The last one's a little different. The last one has a single pin on level 2. And then has the missing red windmill piece. So I think we're going to change this up for that last one. And we're going to make this a cut twice and then restack and then paint and put it all back together. And then on level 2, right here, oh, actually, wait, that will be over here. Yeah, over here. And then we're just going to put in a a pin. And I'm going to bring this up and around because also on this one we're going to have the same notch coming out of the square. Let's cut this. I did add some jumpy jumps for the middle lane here on our painter. Nothing too exciting. And you can see this The last one is pretty much done. You can go ahead and... Yeah, there you go. There we go. Alright, that looks like it's almost done, so I'm going to come on in here. I'm going to cut this. Put that in. Now, while that's going along, I'm going to grab one of these little notchers and grab the notch from the pins. And yes, we want the top right notch, which that appears to be. And that's going to come in and just stack onto that. Okay, and I'm just going to clear all those. So now we're making this guy. And last will be this one. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this one now. So here's what we're doing. Bringing the pins in, I moved this pin notch to the second layer, so the third layer. So I'm going to take this, boom, put it in there. Clear all those guys out. Alright. And what we need to do is change everything about this. And in the meantime, we can take this and run those guys into it, in the top. Because we're making this. So what we need to do is we need to take these windmills and we need to do a cut. And then we're going to have to do a rotate. And I'm not going to even care. Alright, that's fine. Then we're going to cut. Oh, actually, I am going to care. I want this one to be... I want that to be what that one is. Alright, so let's do this. I want one of them to be all left, the left half, okay? Then the other one, I want that to be the right half. So this is going to rotate it. And then we're going to cut that. And we're going to take one of those and paint them white. And the rest are getting painted red. No, one of them, the other way around. One of them is going to get painted red. The rest are going to get painted white. So let's grab our painter. Let's take this and do that. Okay. One's getting painted red. The rest are getting painted white. But before they get painted white, they need to be stacked on top of each other. So that's bottom left. We want bottom right. Yeah, no, that's perfect. Wait, this is stacker. All right. Perfect. All right, this one will get painted red and then rotated. Right. That is lower left, so this needs to get rotated 180. Then we need to paint this whole batch here white. And then we stack them together. Like so. And I think that's it. All right, let's see. All right, that does it for this guy. He's all good. All right, so now we are going to hit the last few of our crystal tasks. We're starting off with this guy, which is actually, I mean, pretty easy. So let's do it. All right, so first we're going to start off with square and circle bits. We just need a notch out of each. All right, so we have those two lined up. Now we're going to stack them. Then I'm going to leave room here to paint. And then right here, we're going to crystallize. So we're going to start off by crystallizing with red. And that's our first shape. 13,500. This one's going to be easy again. Let me just take you through quickly. In fact, let's go ahead and build out the next stage. Next stage, we're going to need to hourglass. Oops, didn't want to do that. We're going to hourglass the circle. And we want that top right, bottom left. like so. And then all we're going to do is we're going to take that and we're going to add it on. We're going to stack it in here. And what I'm going to do too is I'm going to get this red from over here and add it into that batch. Especially since this one's completely out of red. Why are you out of red again? That's the white train. That's the cyan train. There's so much red here now. Here comes cyan. This is white. Oh, this one's got to be white. Okay. Ridiculous. All right. Sorry. So the reason I'm doing that is because then we can double up the amount of red going into the crystallizer, which will give us better goods. Then we can we're going to need white on each of these. So yeah, so that's not going to work. We'll do that. All right, that's going to be it. I'm going to paste in the stacker here. Get that going. Just clear out all this junk. So then we're going to need the same thing over here. Another hourglass, but we'll go ahead and take our blueprint one. An hourglass circle. That'll be top left to bottom right. Yep. Okay, in the meantime, let's get these guys, get some color working here. Right. There we go. We'll get some red coming up in here. And that's where our painter will be. To paint this one white. Oh my. That's not good. Oh no. Okay. So they tricked me. So we had this one going and this one going, and then stacking them on top of each other. I'm saying we were going to be able to just go through one crystallizer. Nope. We're going to have to go through multiple crystallizers. All right. Rats. Okay, let's take a look at this. We're going to have our... We have this shape coming out, leaving room for it to be painted, and then we need it to crystallize. Which we can do right there. Then we need to stack this on top of that. And run that result through a crystallizer, which will be this one. Then we're going to have to do the same back here. Oh. Except... Oh my god, I thought this one was going to be so easy. Yeah, we can do that. That's not right. No, that is right. Yeah, because then it's going to get crystallized, so those are going to be crystals. So we could do this differently. We should do this differently. Alright, give me a second. Okay, so here's what I did differently. Now, instead of just having raw shapes, I'm gonna put pins in on all of these. So this will have pins on the northeast, southwest. Okay, and then we can stack them all on top of each other, get them all stacked up, and then send them through one single stacker. We're still gonna have to paint each layer individually, so we'll paint, paint and paint here. And we can paint before or after the pins. That part doesn't matter. And then the last one is literally just going to be pins on top of it all. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and make white for the others. All right, so now we need to add this guy. But we're going to do it up here. I like that OI trick. Just select portions of where you want to delete, then hit O to select the whole chain, and then I removes it. Okay, so now we should be good on this one. Nope, that is wrong. Oh, I know why. Wait. Hang on a second here. Okay. Got it. We need to add the pins first. We'll do a little down and under. All right, we are ready to switch it up and turn on some painting. So I'm going to zero all of these out. There we go. Everything's getting painted white that needs to. And in theory, we shouldn't have any of the uncolored ones. Oh, I can see one in there. Annoying. And then for our last stage, all we're going to do is drop this set of pins on the very top of everything. And that. Oh, except we need to do that over here. Because if we do it here, it's gonna... I think it'll even out, but it's alright. Alright, that took longer than I was counting on, just because we ran out of circles. This should be empty. No, I guess not. Alright. Okay. Final shape. All we're doing is taking this guy and putting pins on the very top. And that's all going to crystallize up. So let's get that done, and then we will knock out our last task. Our last task, our final task in this run. That will free us up mentally to be able to tackle the Crystal Man. I hope you're feeling better than I am. Okay, so just for fun, I haven't let any deliveries go through. I cut the train off. Let's see what happens now. Let's see if that was a full load. Almost, except for the middle. Alright, finally this one is done. This took a long time too. We ran out of circles, we ran out of pins. So I went and added to our supplies. Okie-doke. Our last one, Trickster's Lotus. So this seems easy, but based on that last one, I'm going to assume it's not. So we start off with this shape. 2 hourglasses stacked, painted yellow. And then same thing, but they're painted white. Then double that up and stack it, and add this pin, right? Yeah. And then run that whole thing through a cyan crystallizer to get this. Then run the whole thing through a magenta crystallizer to get this. So I think it's easy. Let's find out together. Start with hourglass and hourglass. The very bottom one is going to be this setup. And we will paint it yellow. Same whole thing over here. Paint it yellow, but this time, and we're leaving this one in the orientation that it is, which is upper left, lower right. And then we are going to give it a pin push. And stack it. Let's see how that goes. Alright, we're getting close to our next one, so I'm just going to go ahead and come in here, cut these, and pop in mixers. Which is going to turn this one into white. Okay, and the other thing I'm going to do, as I was looking at this, is we're essentially going to duplicate all of this for the top section. All right, so let's just do that. Right there. Okay. But what we want to do differently for this is we want to, for this one, we want to add the pins in manually on that second layer. That's here. So let's do another hourglass, but we're going to do this hourglass for pins. Yep. Oh, and then we will stack it right there. On the next one. And then we can just stack everything else on top of everything. I do believe. Alright, so let's see how that goes. All right, so we're at about 11,000 of these guys in. I'm going to go ahead and cut the connection. And do this. And this, and also this. All right, so now we are adding the pins in here on layer 2. I think we can. I think these guys are stacking. Will stack up correctly, but I could be wrong. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's right. Now what I want to do is get ready for crystallizing. So we need cyan fluid and we're gonna have to steal that from all these guys. And let's cut that here. Yeah, we have to kind of go this way. Like so. I think that's the only way. Yeah, that's the only way we'll get cyan or blue on both sides. So that's going to bring cyan ink or fluid to here, which will then go down and connect, and we'll put a crystallizer right here and run the whole shape through one crystallizer. So this should be our final shape. Oh, no, it's not. All right. What is wrong? Okay, these shapes coming in are wrong. So we'll clear that all out. Okay, yeah, here's what's tricky. So this guy is the bottom. It should sit right on top of there. Why does it not? Let's see here. Uh-huh. Yeah, these two stacked on top of each other. So we have this guy here, and this one is stacking on top of it. It has pins underneath. Egg. What's happening? This should make a 3-layer object. And then this is already a 2. Isn't it? No, this is a single. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's watch one of these. It drops down and squishes the pins down? Is that what's going on? Alright, so let's try this. Let's see if this works. No, that's probably still bad shapes. Yeah. Oh. We don't want that. And then this. Yeah, let's see what happens after it gets through here. It does the same thing. Okay. All right. So we can do this differently. We have this guy. Yeah, we need to do this. We need to put pins on top of here. Yeah, let's do that. Then, after those pins are on top of there, then we want to drop this. We already have this guy in. That's when we want to drop this whole shape in. Oh. All right. So yes, boom, boom, with pins, and then we want this guy, upper left, lower right, with pins underneath. Upper left, lower right, with pins underneath. That's you. All right, looking good, looking good. I'll put you on top. All right, success. Success, and with an added bonus of we've got room for our crystallizer. Okay, we're going to let this run. All right, with these last two little nuggets, I believe we're going to be good to go. I'm going to cut it and add our crystallizer. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're taking that full shape and running it through the crystallizer. Look at that. So it saves on resources of fluid. And then all we're going to do after this is we're going to change out this cyan. I'm going to get rid of this red, or the green, whichever color that is. And have red come in. So the red and blue will mix together and become magenta. And it's going to do that whole same thing. All right. Let's zip ahead. And we are almost at 18,000, so I went ahead and cut this. I'm going to let this... no, we're good. All right, those are all zeroed out. My goodness. Look at this. We just have one more task to complete. Well, thank you for sticking with me and watching this. I think this is a longer one, although hopefully a lot of this is getting cut out in editing. As I said, I hope you feel better than I do. I'll be fine. It's just a cold. Annoying. Don't worry, I'm not the type of Gramps that you've got to worry about for that stuff. I'm not frail, old man. But I am officially a Gramps, so. We are getting all set here. Those are going to be kicking in. And we will be done with tasks. And what we will do next is we will start working on a crystal ma'am. And we'll get that all built out. All right, and that is going to swap right into here. I just want to make sure, here we go. We're just going to make sure this one goes in and is all good. Yes, it was. It scared me because it went in and then it didn't register. So when you come back, we're going to be at 30,000 of these guys, and we will get started on our crystal ma'am. So thank you so much for joining. This is Gramps, signing off.